Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching us every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. Now, that's Central Time. And I love riding home with you every single week and every single day. But you are absolutely fabulous. Again, thank you so much for watching. We couldn't do it without you and without the sponsors and without our fantastic guest, AP Steadham, everybody's favorite sports talk show host, is with us right now. Also, one of the co-hosts, as we see it, AP and Kelly. Thank you for being on the show. We love airing your show on Fridays, Football Fridays at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey, Donna, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you? I'm a little sad that football's winding down.
Yes, yeah, it is kind of a sad time of year. The bowls are coming up now in the playoffs, but yeah, it's coming to the end.
But hey, we're getting ready for basketball as well. You know, Alabama and Auburn have some fantastic basketball teams. We'll be talking about that a little bit later in the show. But let's talk about the Super Bowls. A lot of interesting things happening.
Yeah, we got the bowls coming up, Donna. You know, Michigan is the #1 team. They were deemed #1 by the committee, and then Washington was deemed #2, and then Texas #3, and then Alabama #4. So we have Michigan and Alabama to play in the bowl. And Donna, I think this is the first time that Alabama since 1946 is going to play in the Rose Bowl game held in California. You know, a few years back, the Rose Bowl was held in Arlington, Texas, because of the COVID. Mm-hmm. So this is the first time really Alabama will play in the Rose Bowl game. Now, they have played in the Rose Bowl regular season against UCLA, and they played in the championship game of 2010 January versus Texas. But that wasn't the Rose Bowl game. That was in the Rose Bowl itself, the stadium. But this is the first time since 1946 that Alabama will actually play in the Rose Bowl. And I believe, this is correct, Donna, as well, the $1 Million Band, this is the first time they've ever been in the Rose Bowl parade.
Oh, okay. Wow, so this is going to be an interesting game. How do you think that's going to fare out, and what does Alabama need to get ready for in order to beat Michigan?
Yeah, I think, Michigan's a team that they like to run that football. I mean, to give you an example, Donna, and I don't know if I've ever heard this before. I'm sure it's happened years ago when it was a different style of football, but Michigan against Penn State this year, I believe this was at Penn State. I think it was at Penn State. They ran the ball 30-plus times in a row. They ran it 30-something times in a row. Didn't even pass the ball. So that's how much confidence they have in their ground game. So Alabama's got to get all the beef they can and get prepared to have someone try to pound the ball. But Alabama should have an advantage in the speed department overall. Now, Michigan has players that are fast, no question. You don't beat the #1 team in the country in college football and not have speed. But overall, Alabama should have a slight edge. And then Alabama, they have to chase Jalen Milroe, the quarterback for Alabama. Michigan will have to chase him around, see if they can corral him. But Michigan, tough team, play very good defense. They can run the football. They have the play-action pass, so the tight ends want to get the ball out to the receivers on that play-action pass. But they're a solid football team, and they're great competitors. You don't get to be #1 unless you are very competitive, and they're coming out of the Big Ten. They're very excited to be playing in the Rose Bowl because that's the game they always try to reach when they're winning the Big Ten conference. So 2 big blue blood teams. Michigan has 1,000 wins in the program's history, most ever in college football. Alabama has the most championships, so 2 of the winningest programs in all of college football.
Mm-hmm. Most of the responses that I've had this week have been, some people are praising Alabama for being at the Rose Bowl, and then some are not. Who thought maybe Georgia should have been the one.
Yeah. Well, my feeling, Don, and I said this on the show last week, my show, AP and Kelly, As We See It, syndicated radio show that's on Fridays, 4 p.m., IC Radio, every Friday, IC Radio, 4 p.m. I said that I was extremely disappointed that Florida State was not the team at the #4 spot because they were undefeated. There was nothing more they could achieve. They won the last 2 games with the second string quarterback and the last game actually with the third string quarterback. So they proved that they are a team. They have excellent defense, great wide receivers, all-American running back. They have outstanding people in all phases of the game. So I thought the committee was very dismissive of their coaching staff, the players, the backup quarterbacks, telling them, you don't have a chance. We don't believe that you should be selected as one of the teams. If I had to pick the teams, I would have had Michigan number 1, Washington number 2, Florida State number 3, and Texas number 4. That's the way I would have picked the teams. But they selected Alabama, and they made their choice. Like I said, if Alabama was 13-0 and it was the other way around, there's no way that Alabama would not have been selected at 13-0 because there's nothing more you can achieve. Now, if you have some injuries, all these players are on scholarship down for a reason. But to say that you're very dismissive of somebody who's a second string quarterback, third string quarterback, Ohio State, Donna, the first time they had this selection committee, they won the national championship, beat Alabama with the third string quarterback, Cardale Jones. Think about that. The very first playoff, Ohio State, and then they went on to beat Oregon in Texas, in Arlington, Texas. So think about that. The third string quarterback for Ohio State won the championship. And the first time that the selection committee picked 4 teams. So I thought it was very disrespectful of the committee to tell Florida State, you are 13-0, you're undefeated, but we don't believe in your coaching staff or your players. And we don't believe you can rally and come up with an alternate game plan. And that's all about college football, right? You're adjusting, you're adapting. That's what you're teaching your players all the time. And where was that college spirit coming from the committee to say that? I think Florida State, yeah, we know that they don't have the quarterback, but they can win with defense. We've seen teams with defense win championships many times.
So what, in your opinion, and Alabama's a good team, in your opinion, could it have been because, and let's just talk Georgia for just a few minutes, because Auburn came, and I'm just telling you, Auburn was not even ranked. And that saddened me. But anyway, they were not ranked. But let's be serious here. They came pretty close to beating Georgia this past year. So do you think that may have been some of the deciding factors about Georgia?
Yeah, what's interesting about Georgia, Donna, they knew, I think, going into the game they had to win. They had been pounding people all year. But it's funny that Auburn, of all the teams in the conference, they played Georgia to a 1-score game, right? 27-20. And then they drove Alabama to the brink. They had to win in the last minute. So that was a tight ball game. So Auburn played both of the best teams in the conference to a 1-possession game. And it had to go down to the last minute or so for both of those teams to beat Auburn. I thought that was interesting. But Georgia was in a position where they had beaten up Tennessee, they'd beaten up Ole Miss, they beat up Kentucky, but they didn't beat up Auburn. And so it got down to the end where Alabama was undefeated in the conference, Georgia undefeated in the conference, head-to-head. Alabama won the game in Atlanta. And so Georgia had their chance, so I can't feel real sorry for them that they're not in the playoff, won 29 games in a row, won the title 2 years in a row. But now when you're evaluating the team, and I want people to know this, the committee has the responsibility to discuss the team of 2023, not 2022, not 2021, not the conference that has won many national championships. So when you saw the commissioner going on the TV and discussing, well, we won the championship so many times, he should know better that has no relevance in the discussion. That has no relevance in the discussion. You're discussing this year's team as a separate entity. How did they fare? Who did they play? And where did they play the games? Those are the 3 questions you're asking about each team. Who did you play? Where did you play them? And how did you fare? And then you're discussing them for this year, the 2023 edition of their team.
And that's true in every aspect of life. I used to work, I had to handle the government and the corporate sales with GTE back in the day. This is back when no one had a cell phone. I mean, I handled the government and the corporate accounts. And it didn't really matter that I was a superstar the month before. I had to start all over again and be a superstar that particular month and then get prepared for the next month to be a superstar.
That's right. Yeah, it's the present that counts. This season, that's all that matters. So, because we've seen Michigan is number one, Washington undefeated number two, both of those teams undefeated. We saw Texas with the double-digit victory over Alabama and Tuscaloosa. They had the one close loss to Oklahoma. They won the Big 12. And then you have Alabama. Those are the four teams. And then they had Florida State number 5, Georgia number 6. So Florida State and Georgia will play in the Orange Bowl. And Donna, I'm not sure how that game is going to be played out because both teams are very disappointed. And I don't know how many players will opt out of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. That could be a possibility there as well. Players opting out.
Yeah, Donna, what was your question? I didn't quite hear all of it.
Yeah, that's the chatter around here. The emails and texts I'm getting is people think that some of those players may opt out of the game. What would happen if something like that happened?
I think so. Yeah, it's disappointing for everybody because you want to see your team have all their players finish out the season with the rest of their teammates. But we know in this day and age, that's not always the case. We have some that are transferring before the bowl game as well, Donna. So you have the players opting out. You have the players transferring. It's just not the same as during the regular season. It's two different teams.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Something, we have to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody hang in there. We'll be right back.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. We get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Wanted to say a special thanks to the Chamber of Commerce, Etowah County Chamber of Commerce in Gadsden. They are actually airing our show Monday through Friday there in the lobby of the Chamber of Commerce. We definitely appreciate that as well. And also the wonderful businesses that are in Gadsden. Thank you, the Gadsden Mall. Bobby Ledbetter with Twin City Used Car Sales is in Gadsden now. And I am watching his Facebook page, and he's selling, I don't know how many cars a day. So good for you, Bobby. I think it's working out just fine. I have AP Steadham with me right now. He's a talk show host, AP and Kelly, as we see it. By the way, AP, what happened on last week's show?
Oh, yeah, Donna, we had so much to say last week. It was just Kelly and myself because of the selection of the teams to the playoff and the various bowls. So we had a lot of discussion. And one of the very few times we didn't have a guest because we had so much to say about the decision. And when it was complex, we wanted to elaborate on all the points that we needed to be made about the selection of the teams in the playoffs, the 4 teams, and then we discussed the bowls as well. And then, of course, Donna, the Heisman Trophy happened over the weekend, so we had a discussion about the candidates we thought would have a chance to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a few minutes. Were you surprised at the selections?
Yeah, no, Donna, those 3 players, Jaden Daniels of LSU, Michael Penix Jr. of Washington, and Bo Nix of Oregon, those are the 3 that I thought would be at the top. And that's the way it ended up over the weekend. So Jaden Daniels, although his team was 9-3, he put up tremendous numbers, 1,100 plus yards rushing the football down, running the ball as a quarterback. And then he had nearly 4,000 yards throwing. He had 40 touchdown passes down at 40 plus 10 running. That's 50 touchdowns he accounted for as one player. Those are spectacular numbers. Yeah. And the other players were sensational as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about Bo Nix, moving on, getting away from Auburn. Sounds like that was the best move for him. It's like we got just a little bit of a breakup there. This is Donna, by the way. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. We're talking with AP Steadham right now about football. We're going to be missing it when it goes away, but basketball is going to be coming up just as well. And Alabama and Auburn seem to be doing really well there. Hey, AP, I got you back.
Here we go. Yeah, Donna, just mentioned for the Auburn fans particularly, they're playing Sunday, December 17th against the University of Southern California. Now, you're asking why I'm bringing up this game. Well, the reason I'm bringing up this game, Don, is because LeBron James's son, Bronny James, is a member of USC's basketball team. So he
Stop.
returned. Yeah, he returned this weekend because he had a health issue, but he's back on the court. So that's be a big game for Auburn this Sunday, the 17th of December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting really into basketball at this point, and I'm really liking it. So what's upcoming? What are you looking forward to? And which teams, in your opinion, will be the top 5?
Yeah, looking forward to the season, Don. I don't have my top 5 done. I haven't concentrated on basketball yet, but I am excited because the 2 teams in the state of Alabama have a chance to return to the NCAA tournament. And we know if you can get in the tournament at the end of the year, and Donna, to win the championship, you have to win 6 games total. But I tell everybody all the time, if you can win 2 games for 3 weekends in a row, that's the tournament. So you have to concentrate on winning the 2 games. So the SEC will be tough again. You have Kentucky and Tennessee. Tennessee has a good team as well. So I'm looking forward to all the teams in the SEC and how many can reach the NCAA tournament, but especially Alabama and Auburn. I was able to see Alabama play once so far this year. I saw them in Niceville, Florida. They lost to Ohio State. It was an 11-point game. So they're trying to get all these new players adapted to each other. It's going to take a moment, but they have talent. This weekend, they played Purdue in Toronto, Donna. They played in Toronto. Purdue has one of the top players, Edey, a big 7'4" center. And so they weren't able to slow him down enough to win the ball game. But, Purdue's one of the better teams in the country. And we're going to find out over the course of time here who's going to be good. Basketball is different, Donna, because you don't need a lot of players. I mean, if you have 2 good players, you could be a national team. You could be a national team. Whereas in football, you got a couple players, it's not enough. Basketball, you get 2 or 3 players, and you surprise people like San Diego State last year was in the Final Four. They beat Alabama in the tournament. Nobody would think San Diego State is going to be in the Final Four, but they made it. They had enough players and overall to field a team that was very competitive.
A lot of folks say, well, basketball, they play more games than folks in football, but a lot of that is on the field practice as well, or on for basketball, a lot of practice while you're playing the game. So neither sport's a lazy sport.
Yeah, basketball. I mean, there's 30-something games. You get into the playoffs, and if you get lucky, you get 4 or 5 games there, and you have the tournament for the conferences. That's 3 or 4 games right there. So your season is extended, maybe 7, 8 games, whatever it may be, Donna. Yeah, in basketball, you think you're finished, but no, you're in the tournament for your conference and then the NCAA tournament or NIT games. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are there a few players that you have your eyes on right now that you think are going to be superstars, maybe new superstars this season?
Yeah. I'm looking at, Mark Sears for Alabama. He was on the team last year. He transferred. He's from up there in North Alabama. He transferred from Ohio University. He had a big game this weekend, 30-plus points against Purdue. So it looks like he's going to be a big scorer for them. He's one player you're kind of looking at. But like I said, I have to review that basketball. I'm trying to finish up with the football because we still have all the bowl games yet, Donna, to watch and discuss. And so I'll get into basketball here in the next couple of weeks. But basketball is always fun because you can win on any night because the ball must go in the basket, Donna. And then every time you go on the court, the team that's the hottest, you can win a game. You don't have the height, maybe not even the speed, but if you're making shots that night, you could defeat someone. So that's what makes basketball interesting.
I like to watch the players too. You can actually detect the players who actually grew up watching the Harlem Globetrotters because they try some of those little fancy moves in there as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, players, they really are skilled now, Donna. There's so many players. They can dribble behind the back and through their legs and make these passes and no-look passes and behind the back passes and things like that. Yeah, so players are so talented. They've been adept at these skills since they were 7 or 8 years old. I mean, they're starting to play the game. So they've been dribbling and shooting and learning about the game since they were very, very young. They have an advantage over people of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all about the whole team, but are there some coaches you're looking at right now who you think will probably pass it on through?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the coaches, Duke has a new coach from, last year, first year. Carolina's coach was in the Final Four a couple years ago, his first year, Hubert Davis. I actually saw North Carolina play this year already, Don. I was over there and I saw them beat, I believe that game I saw was against Lehigh, I think it was. So I saw North Carolina play in Chapel Hill. So they've got a good team. They got a lot of people returning, but they had some transfers too. Arizona's got a good team. But those are some of them around the country. But no, I'm not looking at any particular coach at this point, but there's some great ones out there. In basketball, Donna, there's over 350 teams, I think it is, at that level, the top level. Whereas football, there's, I think, 133. So basketball, there's so many teams that are competing for the championship across the country. But we still have the bowl games left too. So we're looking at those.
Yeah, let's dig into those just a little bit. We've got about 3 minutes left in this segment.
Okay, yeah.
This week's going to fare off.
Yeah. The bowl games down. We'll just go in order here. Alabama, Michigan at the Rose Bowl. We have Auburn playing Maryland in the Music City Bowl in Nashville. That's on the 30th of December. And down in Maryland has Tawalia Tagovailoa. He was the brother of Tua Tagovailoa, who played at Alabama. He transferred to Maryland, so he's the quarterback for Maryland. He'll be playing at Auburn. We know we have Georgia and Florida State in the Orange Bowl. That's on 12/30. That's December 30th. We have Kentucky versus Clemson in the Gator Bowl. That's on the 29th. We have LSU versus Wisconsin in the ReliaQuest Bowl. That's in Tampa. We have Ole Miss and Penn State down. Interesting game here because Ole Miss is the team that lost to Alabama and Georgia, the two top teams in the SEC. Penn State is 10-2 as well. They lost to the top teams in the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan. So Ole Miss and Penn State, very similar. They're trying to beat those two top teams. They haven't been able to do it yet. And that's in the Peach Bowl, and those two teams have never played. That's the 30th of December as well. We have Missouri, great season, 10-2, playing in the Cotton Bowl versus Ohio State, 12-1. That'll be the 29th of December. Down at Ohio State's quarterback went 12-1, and he's transferring. Leaving the team. It's unbelievable. Then we have Tennessee, of course, versus Iowa. That's in the Citrus Bowl. That's the 1st of January. And then Texas A&M in the Texas Bowl versus Oklahoma State. That's the 27th of December. So Tennessee and Iowa, they have played at least once that I know in their history. Maybe more than once. So, but that's an interesting game because Tennessee usually can score points. They had trouble this year. Iowa has a lot of trouble scoring points, play excellent defense. So Iowa could, shut them down. I don't know, but
you just never know. You just don't. Not until that game is being played. AP, what's ahead for AP and Kelly as we see it?
Yeah, we're going to try to get somebody from Michigan on this week, Donna, because that's a big game. Alabama plays Michigan in the college football playoff semifinal game. So we're trying to get somebody from Michigan to come on the show to discuss that Rose Bowl game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Friday, 4 p.m., IC Radio. Every Friday, 4 p.m., IC Radio. AP Kelly, as we see it.
Absolutely. AP, thank you so much for being on the show. We've got to call it a day. It's always so much fun. Looking forward to next week as well. Well, where will you be this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend I have to go to an event in Birmingham, Don. It's to honor the 1973 Alabama football team. It was the first integrated national championship for them. They split the championship that year with Notre Dame. Alabama had one pole and Notre Dame had the other. They played in the Sugar Bowl for the very first time. It was a night game. December 31st, 1973, Alabama lost by 1 point to Notre Dame, 24-23.
Ooh, ouch. I know that hurt back then, too.
Yes, sure did. I remember.
It's so good to be with you today, and thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge.